Welcome back, everybody, to Tales of Eternia. We've finally got our little flying machines. So for this episode, we're going to do a couple of the other side quests that we haven't done yet. Oops, I didn't mean to actually exit the place. So we're going to do a couple places that you can only access with the flying machines. And the first, just for fun, just for something nice and relaxing, we're gonna check out the Onsen in Tales of Eternia. Because every Tales game has some kind of hilarious onsen experience. Of course, chat is, sort of embarrassed to go in, I think, because she's a young lady, so she's gonna wait it out. But there are actually several scenes that you can get here at the Onsen, and one of them's part of a side quest. I'm not gonna do all the side quests in this game, the small ones, just some of the major events. But yeah, I want to welcome everybody back to the series. We don't have very much left to go, maybe 3 more episodes, I think, and we'll be at the awesome ending. So I hope you'll join me until we get to the end. So Rid noticed there was a statue there of Ifrid, in the guys section of the onsen. So when you first come here, he'll notice it and tell chat about it, and chat will go in there to check it out and get one of her, I guess I shouldn't say many, one of her few special skills. Which is too bad, because chat's actually a pretty cool character. If only she had more, special skills, probably be more used. I always thought it was weird that this guy is like, hey, you guys need to pay before you go in there, and Rid's like, dude, we already paid. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. Feel free to go in. It's like, what was the point of that conversation? I'm not quite sure. So there we get the Paradise Ball, or Paralyze Ball. I love it. Whenever chat gets a new skill, she just explains it. Like everybody should know what it is. And then Keel comes out in his towel only and freaks chat out. And that'll end the scene. But if we go in again, there'll be a different scene. And of course there's a different scene if you're doing the side quest with the elder of Rid and Farah's town, Russians. But I'll go ahead and do one more of the scenes real quick here. Because why not? Waste all that gold I worked hard to earn. Rid's kind of worried that Keel doesn't really have much muscle on him. Or maybe he's been working out a bit. Maybe he's trying to impress Medity. So you get to go in here to the nice hot springs, and Rid notices that Medity's over here. I think it's kind of cool they've got a staircase with a slide there. So Medity wanted to come on this side because she said it was bigger and it looked like it would be more fun. Apparently from Celestia they have less, what's the word? I'm forgetting English. They're not nearly as embarrassed Zenzen hazukashikunai. Farah is upset on the other side, wondering why Medity's on the guy's side. So Medity's fine, I'll go, and then Rid's like, don't stand up! And then Medity's, but Farah told me I have to get up and go out to the other side. Rid's like, wait, just wait there and we'll get out and then you can go. So Rid's confused about what to do. And Keel's been listening to this conversation. I think he's been sitting in the water too long and passed out. It's a common thing in Japan, like if you're in the hot springs, a little bit too long, you can get lightheaded and dizzy. So it's not too good to, be in the hot water for a long, extended period of time. But yeah, that scene was pretty amusing. Medity's like, well, you told me to go to the other side, but she's not supposed to stand up, so she can't go to the other side, so what is she supposed to do? Well, there are several funny scenes you can get here at the onsen. Just thought I would start the episode off with something amusing. But hey, we'll go ahead and finish up this section and continue on our story after seeing the guys restore their health. You can sit in the hot springs to restore everybody's HP and TP. Anyways, that's the location of the onsen. Every Tales game's gotta have an onsen, right? And that music. Just love flying around the world. But our next stop is going to be at the Glimmering Spire. Which I think is the way it was translated in English. Kirameki Tower. But before we do that, I just want to fly around a bit. You don't actually get to see the flying units all that much because you pretty much literally get them end game, and if you're not going to bother doing any of the side stuff, you will hardly ever use them. So I just wanted to fly around a bit to show off what it looks like. I'm surprised time flies when you're flying around. It's like suddenly it was nighttime and then it's like daytime again. That was a short night. And one of the nice things is, wherever you are, you can call your, you can call the Van Eltia, and it'll come and pick you up. I guess I wanted to show real quick the bay here, since we just got the flying units. I didn't show the room here. This is the added room that you get when you get the flying vehicles. And it's pretty cool. It's got like a launching dock and everything. If you talk to the Ifrit statue, it lowers it down. And you can, just climb on and start flying from there. Very cool. But anyway, with that aside, we're going to go to this tower, which is not too difficult, but this is a really, really good side quest to do. I highly recommend doing this. And it's mostly just a tower full of puzzles. And so I'm going to show the solutions to all the puzzles. And at the top, we're going to fight a boss, which wouldn't be too bad. Wouldn't be too bad, except you have to fight it solo with Rid. And I know I repeat myself a lot. I apologize for that. if you're an English speaker watching this video. I make a lot of these videos for my students, actually, so they can watch the Japanese game and hear English commentary to practice with it. But yeah, being an English teacher, I repeat myself all the time. Also speaking slow. It's just a really bad habit, so please ignore the fact if I'm repeating myself constantly. So anyway, we're just gonna head into this tower, and I don't know why I bothered putting a holy bottle on. There really aren't... Actually, I don't think there are any enemies in this whole tower except, you know, the final room at the top. But this is just a basic puzzle. You step on the button, and the two side pieces, you know, to the left and the right of you, whichever button you stepped on, you know, react, either turn on or turn off. And the goal is to turn them all on. So yeah, it's just like a little math puzzle. The easiest way to do it is to set it up to where there's 3 off on one side and then 2 on the other side, and then you can hit the 3 and turn all 3 on. See if I can set it up here real quick. There we go. So you just have those 2 on, and then you hit the center one to turn the other 3 on, and all of them are on. And then we get to warp to the next level. Surprised they made this place look really intricate with the mirror, you know, style walkways and all the platforms and the pretty cool angel statues there. They look kind of like Celsius, summoned only with wings. So as we go up the tower here, Rid is hearing voices. So they think something's wrong with him, but he's hearing somebody warning him. Okay, so floor 2 here, I can't really do a walkthrough because this is always random. It's basically Simon Says, you know, where the things light up and you have to choose, you know, which ones in order. And it's not, you know, real difficult if you have struggle with memory games. Then I found a really easy way to do this is just when you start it, have your hand on your keyboard or, I don't know, tablet or something, and you can just type, you know, what it's doing, like B for blue, R for red, G for green, and maybe teal for the brownish looking one, like a T or something, whatever other letter you want. And you can just quickly type it out on your computer or write it down, you know, on a piece of paper. It's probably the easiest way to do it. So you can't light these things because the wind is blowing on them. So you want to use the ice ring to kind of destroy or freeze the wind blowing things on the wall. That way they're not blowing out the fire. And then light these 2 small, there we go, small torches, and then this stair will appear. It's a little tricky for some reason. You gotta stand in the right place, you know, and then the staircase will appear. Sometimes it doesn't appear. I'm not sure why that is. If somebody knows, you could tell me, but it's just supposed to appear like that. Sometimes it doesn't appear. It's like you gotta step right in the center or something, I don't know. Maybe something I'm missing there, but I always have to wander around a bit for the staircase to appear there. So that's all there is to floor 2. Pretty easy puzzle. This one, you've got to flip these over, and it's not much of a puzzle. You just have to kind of rotate these so that they're pointing up. But when you do, they move around, like they change a level. But because of the 3D, or lack thereof, in Tales of Eternia, because it's not truly a 3D game. It's really hard to tell, the height of these things. So that's really the only frustrating part of this is, not only is it tricky to tell how high you are on these side platforms when you're walking around, it's hard to tell exactly how high the crystals are that you're shooting at. So, yeah, it's kind of a lame puzzle. Just run around and shoot everything until they all flip over, basically. See, I don't know, it looks like I could hit it, but it's apparently too low. So I gotta go hit something else. And the colors underneath them kind of correspond to the level to, give you an idea of what level they're at, but I've never found that to be useful, personally, so I just kind of go around and shoot them until they're all flipped. But yeah, it's not really, much of a puzzle. Okay, so that one's closer. I'm assuming this one's high enough? I don't know. Nope. See, honestly, I can't tell. There we go. So now the yellow one up here is high enough. Plus the angle is awful. You gotta be in, just the right place. There we go. Now they're all facing up. Yeah, a little strange, kind of a puzzle, a little frustrating, but just keep shooting at them, running around the thing, and you'll eventually get it. And you can just sort of copy what I did there, minus the wandering around and being obliviously shooting everything. So once again, the next floor Rid is hearing stuff like a ghost, and Keel's like, oh, there's nothing to worry about, and he just heads in, calling Rid kind of a coward. It's kind of interesting, there's some scenes in this game Rid is kind of afraid of ghosts. Like a couple episodes ago we were in the ghost ship, and he didn't really like that place. So in this puzzle, we just have to move this platform and touch the 3 glowing colors. It can be a little trickier than it looks, and mostly the reason of that is because of the controls. It's diagonal, and you're doing this on the D-pad, which is left, right, up, and down, so it's kind of tricky to actually move the diagonal direction. Trust me, I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm actually trying to move the proper way, but it doesn't quite want to move the way I want it to. Come on! Seriously, I'm trying to move down, but there we go. So all I gotta do is just touch the 3 colors with the other platform, and you're done. Next floor. This one's kind of it's a maze, and you don't honestly have to really memorize it. Just each time you step on a color, and you can't really step diagonally, and basically just gotta light these 3 colors. But see, the yellow piece keeps turning off depending on where I step. Well, just light the 3 colors and then the exit will open. It's probably better to do the blue one last, because that's where the exit is. So if you do the blue one last, then you're done. But I was foolish, and now I got to get back over there. And the yellow piece is the one that's the final the final piece to get over there. So I'm probably gonna have to, yeah, I can't do it that way. I'm gonna have to go back to the beginning here. Because it won't appear unless I step on one of these green ones. No! Stay there. It's not gonna stay there, is it? There we go. Whatever. Most of the puzzles are just trial and error. Now Rid is, ignoring the voices because he doesn't want the group to make fun of him. This is one of those puzzles that, all it is a maze, really, but I've never really understood the point. There's a red. All you gotta do is get to the end, basically. There's a red maze, and like a blue maze and a green one. And you can change the color of the maze. And of course, if you fall or you make a mistake, it'll just put you, back down. It resets you. But I'm really not sure what the point is. I just pick one. I choose the green, turn all those green, and now it's the green maze. And then just memorize, the proper place to go. So those two squares are out. Yeah, I'm not sure why they have 3 different colors. I mean, you can just choose, say the blue maze and just do it. I mean, it might be interesting if you had to, accomplish all 3 mazes. But anyway, so that's the route for the green maze. I really don't know what the point of the others are. Or maybe I cheesed it, who knows. So definitely gotta save here because we have a pretty tough fight coming up on our hands. This is the only Tales game that I know of that has a Valkyrie in it. But look at all that treasure! Oh yeah. So yeah, it's actually worth it to come up here just to get all the treasure. There's quite a few nice items in the treasure chests. But also, for winning a fight with Valkyrie here, we get a special key. And I'll show you where we use that too. But the only reason this is tough is because you have to solo it with Rid. So after a long conversation there, here we go. Although you can use items in this fight, so it's not nearly as hard as you would make it out to be. Unlike the Colosseum, where you can't use items, here you can use items. And of course, Ho Tenku is one of the better moves just because the AI has a hard time timing the hit on Rid when you do that skill. So it's a good move to spam. Some of the others, they'll interrupt you, block you. Ouch. As you can see, sometimes she'll combo you. It can be quite frustrating. As you see, a lot of times the AI will miss because it has a hard time judging Rid's distance when you do the Ho Tenku. Which I think a better translation is it's really flaming. It's like heavenly flames, or flaming heavenly wrath, or whatever. But in the English version, they called it Rising Phoenix, and it sounds so stupid and cheesy. It doesn't have anything to do with a phoenix. It's just Rid is on fire. I don't know. Maybe they thought it looked like a phoenix, but if you look closely, he's just on fire. There's no phoenix there anywhere. So I don't know where they get the phoenix crap from. It's more like, heavenly flame wrath, or wrath of the heavenly flame, something like that. Yeah, occasionally you can get a different move in. But usually she blocks everything and then just combos you to death. Ho Tenku is a good way to get out of the corner also if she traps you in the corner. There we go. That does a lot more damage, but it's harder to start it up. But yeah, as long as you stay, careful with the healing, and you can use as many items as you want, this fight isn't really that hard. Just a little frustrating getting stun locked all the time. There we go. But I know how tough Valkyries are. I played Valkyrie Profile. You do not mess with Valkyries. Alright, and so for defeating her, she's going to give us a special key on Rid, but of course this is an invisible key for a mysterious sword that she mentions. And yeah, if you've never played this game and you remember a few episodes back, there was a sword stuck in a stone somewhere and we couldn't pick it up. That's the sword that we can now pick up. And I'll show where it's at. But in order to get there, we'll have to go back to Celestia. But first, let's grab all these goodies. After all our hard work, grab all these treasure chests. So yeah, this tower is not really hard. It's totally optional, but definitely worth doing. Technically only one enemy that you have to fight, and a bunch of just annoying mini puzzles, which really are not that hard. Okay, let's take a look at what we got real quick here. So I got some gold armor. Beam shield is pretty decent. I like using the Ankh shield. So let's just quickly go through. I think a couple characters get some pretty nice items. And I think it's been a while since we had the BC rod. The blue crystal rod, which also appears in almost every Tales game, I think. Okay, so some pretty good equipment and a lot of nice items. And let's save, and fortunately this teleporter takes us to the bottom floor. We are out of there. So a pretty easy little side dungeon. Basically just a dungeon of puzzles. Alright, now with this mysterious key we got, the key that we cannot see, let's head back to Celestia. And I'll show you where we get to use this key. Alright, so I made a quick cut here. We're back here in Celestia. And we gotta go underwater to the hideout number 1, where we've already been here. In fact, I think this is one of the first places we came when we got the submarines. Agito number 1. So this is Ifrit's hideout number 1. And most of these had treasure chests, but this one in particular had a mysterious sword stuck in the rocks, which we couldn't do anything with before, but now we can. So suddenly Rid is, glowing, and he's kind of freaking out. And we can get this SD sword, or super deformed sword. No, not really. SD stands for Summon Destiny. So this sword isn't actually a real sword in the game. It's just used as a summon for summoning Destiny. So we can summon all the characters from Destiny to do a special attack. It's very cool, and I will show it off. As you can see there, it can only be used every 30 minutes. So when you first get it, the timer starts, and after 30 minutes of playing the game, you can use it at any time. And then you have to wait another 30 minutes for it to work again after that. And that's to, prevent, major spamming of it, because it is a pretty powerful move, and it's free to use, so. But I will show it off when we get into a fight. But I want to thank everybody for watching. I think for now we'll pause the video, and when we come back in the next one, I think we're almost about ready to challenge the final dungeon. And I will do some other extra content as well, like the secret dungeon that's available in Mania mode, on a second playthrough, and some of those other things. So make sure you stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. じゃあ皆さん、またね